anything.
Anybody?
Hey. We got there.
Let's
do audio balance.
Somebody to
Testing, audio balance. Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing sound balance.
Hey guys, how's the sound? Is it too loud?
No, that's good. Well, Pikachu. Okay.
Well, I'm Tuchu.
Alright, let's wait for a couple more people to get in here, and then we will start. We're just getting ourselves organized right now.
You want to pull up our agenda?
Yeah, I have our agenda too. There's a couple more housekeeping things.
Oh, you want to bring up last season's? Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. And we can discuss what you were talking about earlier, because I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I just think it's something maybe for summer. So we can bring it up and we can bring it up and see what people think.
Yeah, I agree.
We never finished it.
Good. It shall remain unfinished. Good. Thanks, Homer. Eric Fitzsimmons reacted to my post with an O face. Because I think he's in class right now.
Yo, you should pin that.
Ah.
And tell Jordan yes. Two people watching. Seven.
Okay. Okay. A little bit better. Okay.
Maybe don't show that.
Why not?
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh my god. Nobody knows what it is, don't worry.
You're right.
Johnny's not counted. Oh, do mods not count as, hi Jordan. Mods don't count as viewers?
Huh. I didn't know that. Probably because you're not a viewer.
It's true. Exactly. I'll try and get Moobot as well.
Moobot?
Yeah, they're like automated bots that you can get, and they do different things. Like good things.
Okay.
Like you can get them to, like, if people do like chat commands, they can respond to those commands.
Oh.
So like if people do like ! Doc, it'll send them the link to the Google Doc.
Oh.
Or like stuff like that. Like you just do chat commands. It's actually really, really useful. So yeah. Let's see.
Nope, mods definitely
count.
Mods definitely count. There's 3 mods, 3 not mods, and us.
Oh. Julian sucks.
I think
Thank you.
Might be right, actually, Johnny.
There you go. Got him.
I'm just gonna... We are live.
We're lib.
I'll message some peeps too.
Okay. Hey, sup, I'm Tiny Rick. Is that Troy?
No, that's Lucas.
Oh, that's Lucas? Sup, Lucas. Which one's Troy? Oh, Zenmas.
Yeah.
Zemnas. Johnny says, Julian sucks, you might be right. Johnny. What? What the heck? Oh my god. And the XD. The infamous XD. Yeah, Zenmas is Troy, yeah. Ethan, you're hacked. Oh, I guess Jessica doesn't have a Twitch account. so she doesn't show up as a viewer, I guess.
Oh, true. Okay.
Yeah.
How's there 11 viewers? What?
Like, some people don't have Twitch accounts, so like if you look at the viewer list, they're not actually there.
Okay.
Right? But hi, Martin. Hello. Julian sucks. Johnny, you might be right, Johnny. Ethan. I think I'm gonna demod Johnny.
I don't think that's too bad of a call.
Okay. Who doesn't have Twitch though? Well, I guess Jessica. You can scold her for that because she's talking to us in the Facebook chat and not on Twitch chat. Stream is love. Live, rather. Life, I don't know. Very nice. 11 is a lot? Yeah, Martin, we actually had 49 people sign up and say they were interested.
Yeah, a lot of people, like more than double what we had like last season, just signed up today.
Yeah, and so
we had a lot of people turn out.
But there was a little flub with the like sending out the Excel spreadsheet. So like we only got the Gmail sent out like 10 minutes ago. So some people might not even check their Gmail right away. So we're definitely gonna upload this to YouTube and then post it on. Oh, should we post in Geek Squad in general?
Yes, actually do that.
Okay.
Just in case, because whatever.
Okay, I'll write this post and then we will get started. Okay, good enough?
Mm-hmm.
Post. Alright, sweet.
Cool, so, I think let's just get started.
Okay, so, hello everyone, I'm Julian.
Hi, and I'm Ethan. Nice to meet you all. I think we know most of you, but some of you guys are newcomers, and that's perfectly okay. If anything, that's actually good.
Yeah, we're kicking everyone who's ever been in a season before.
Yeah.
So you guys
That's not true.
So yeah, this is the McMaster Pokémon League, and we're here to tell you a little bit about what this all is and just updates to what this season's going to be like, because it's going to be potentially a little bit different than last season.
Yeah.
But better.
Yeah, so we're going to be speaking about maybe some changes that we're going to be making for this season, but also we'd like to just introduce it to those of you who are new. So let's just talk about what happened a little bit last season.
Okay.
Okay.
So last season there were just a couple concerns. We know that it was a summer season, and for some reason summer's always a little bit hard in terms of commitment for players and a little bit harder.
It's Dollar Toots.
Dollar Toots here. Dollar Toot, hello. This is perfect timing. You're just in time to hear about this season, which you can join.
You can join this time, Dollar Toots.
This is the one stream where if people ask to join our league, we can say yes.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Will the season also be scripted? Yeah, that was the main complaint for last season, is that it was completely fake.
It wasn't fake.
It was just there's a lot of issues with commitment and dropping and lack of interest halfway through the season. Just like various things. Like summer's always busy because I feel like it's a little less personal in the summer because we're all in different cities and we're not seeing each other every day like we are. Well, most of us are during the year, and so it's a little bit easier to fall off.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, so hopefully during the school year, there's a little bit more commitment to, like, even though there's a little bit more responsibility, I'm hoping that since people are around and actually doing things, people will actually be around and doing things for the league as well.
Yep, because, well, at the end of the day, this is for having fun. It's not fun if your opponent constantly tells you they don't want to battle, and then you don't get to play as much, right? So it's very important to always be committed and to follow through with this if you really are interested in it. And it is, like, of course it is quite a bit of a commitment. It's 2 matches a week, potentially 2 hours a week if you play against me.
And there is a bit of planning process that comes into play. So it really is up to you how much time and effort you want to put into it. Those of you who are going to put like the time and care are probably like going to do a bit better, but I don't think that's necessarily the goal for a lot of players right now. I think the goal for a lot of people is just to have fun, and I've been advertising it as like, hey, come play some Pokemon, but also like meet some really cool people.
Yeah,
while Pokemon just happens to be there on the side.
Yeah, because this season we potentially have enough of a user base to have like a dedicated casual scene and a dedicated competitive scene, and for them to mesh together. And so you have enough people who are into it casually where someone doesn't just get wrecked every week if they're going up against constant competitive players. We have enough people that everyone will have their own skill bracket.
Yeah.
Right? $2 says I should have won. Yeah.
Quote unquote won.
$2 says I looked at the VODs but I didn't see who the winner was. So what happened last season was that during the playoffs,
it didn't even finish.
Yeah, it didn't finish. But the last day of the playoffs, my internet service provider got DDoSed, and so we couldn't hold a stream, and it just like stream went out in the middle of what we were doing, and it was like we were already a day over what we were planning on doing, and we were so done. Nobody was playing, everyone was forfeiting, and so the season got canceled. we didn't have a real winner of last season.
Next time on Pokemon Draft.
Yeah, so there is no actual winner of season 4. Season 4 was and
the
always
black
will
box.
be. It'll be the black box meme season. Only the people who were there knows what happened during that downtime. Lol, sucks to sucks.
Yeah. It was just a series of unfortunate events after a series of unfortunate events, and like one thing led to another, and it just the playoffs and near the end just kind of went to shit. Yeah, and we ended it in a really shitty way.
We were so done with it. I'm so glad season 4 is over.
Season 4 never happened. Yeah, we went straight to season 5, right?
Yeah. It was a sign when we accidentally made the season 4 Facebook group called season 5. It was a sign that we never should have done season 4. Ethan will be the winner in my eyes.
I think I literally love you.
Literally. Easy as ABC. I was surprised Lucas is coming back after what happened to him last season.
Did you see what he said earlier?
No.
Well, we were talking about scripting.
You can't fake the RNG that ruined my hopes and dreams. It would be literally impossible to recreate that RNG.
Oh, yo, it's the Mr. What's his name? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Arcaniner? Was it Arcaniner?
Arcaniner, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyler and
Clipboard Jesus. That's us.
Yeah. So those were some of the things that were wrong with last season and some of the things that we wanted to change. And I think it will be better this season if we fully explain what we want to do, we fully explain our intentions, and people who don't think that they could reach the level of commitment that we're asking for, just maybe sit back and watch. You can still participate and you can still be a part of the Facebook group. It's just that if you're not willing to put in the time and you think you're going to burn out halfway through the season, then just sit back, enjoy, and watch whatever matches you'd like.
Yeah, so that's actually a really important point. We have seen a lot of people burn out because it is like somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks of just a lot of Pokemon. Yeah. And around like week 5, week 6, it starts to get pretty monotonous. Well, it's not that it does, but for some people, because it's not completely up their alley.
Yeah.
Or they're not doing too well, and maybe, I don't know, everybody takes losses a different way, right? Yeah. So if you ever feel at some point before the draft happens that your dedication might not necessarily be there 100% with us, then I think it would be better just to take the season off and join next season, or at least during the summer or something when you think you might have a little bit more time, and at that point it just makes things go a lot smoother, because if somebody joins and then leaves halfway through, it really messes a lot of things up.
Totally.
So yeah, and we're definitely working on trying to take away some of that, like some of the people burning out. So yeah, we're definitely working on that, and I hope you guys can work with us. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, let's actually talk about what the draft is.
Okay. Yes. So now we're getting into it now. So now it's at the base level. It's a competitive battle simulator in Pokemon Showdown. And what that means is that we're only simulating the competitive aspect of the game. We're not simulating walking around and talking to people. It's just in battle, and you play to beat the opponent. And you're playing against other people in the league. It's essentially just a 1v1.
Right. Yeah. So it's the official format that we're using is Smogon OU 6v6 singles. So that means we go by the Smogon OU ban list, which we will link shortly. Smogon OU ban list, and you use 6 Pokemon against your opponent's 6 Pokemon, and each Pokemon, you only have 1 Pokemon out at a time for your team. So that's basically just the format. So it's not double battle, it's not triple battle, it's not rotation battle, it's not VGC. Not anything like that. It's 6v6 singles, and the format has been linked below now.
And so for people who have no idea what the league is like, it's kind of like fantasy football in the sense where you are going to be able to construct your own unique team out of any legal Pokemon that you'd like, as long as they haven't been taken by someone else, and you use those Pokemon together on a team to fight other people.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't have to be all Pokemon from the same tier. It doesn't have to be all Pokemon of the same kind. It just has to be whatever you choose to put together. It's personalized to yourself.
Within the ban list.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Season 5 inverse battles confirmed.
Yeah. So let's say we have 5 people in a draft, and their order is completely randomized on like a list randomizer, and let's say, so number 1 is about to pick his Pokemon. He picks, I don't know, Scizor. He picks Scizor, and now number 2 is about to pick, he cannot pick Scizor. Instead, he picks Snorlax. Now these guys cannot pick Scizor or Snorlax, and it goes on and on and on until number 5. Once it gets to number 5, it's going to restart again. And then number 5 is going to start, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, etc., until everybody has 10 Pokemon. Now, I know I just said that it's 6v6. Why do you get 10 Pokemon? Well, that's because between every game, between every match, you are allowed to change up your team. You're allowed to change up which Pokemon you bring. You're allowed to change up all of their moves, all of their stats, all of their abilities, all of their items, anything and everything that might affect the Pokemon, or any stat, anything to do with the Pokemon, you are allowed to change, except for in some cases like gender or form. And yeah, anything like that is totally up to you. You're allowed to change it and counterpick, because you will know all of your opponent's teams, because we'll have it written down on our database, on our spreadsheet database, which we'll be looking at in a bit. So
before we continue, let's just take a quick look at Showdown for people who have
so
no
this is
idea what
Pokemon
it's
Showdown.
Like. Yes.
You literally just look up Pokemon Showdown and go to the first link.
Play.PokemonShowdown.com. Yeah. And so you can do battles with random people. There's different chat rooms, stuff like that. You sign in. I'll sign in later. But yeah, so we have over here Team Builder. And Team Builder is where we make all of our teams. And we have some stupid teams from what we've done on stream before.
Yeah.
So for example, when Ethan was on this computer, he made a team versus another competitor, Sadie.
Jesus, that team is scary.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So these were 6 Pokemon that Ethan had last season. And they were all on his roster, and he got to customize his Pokemon in every way. He got to pick their IVs, pick their EVs, pick their moves, pick their items, and you get to change this in between every game. So these are never static. You don't have to worry. You can make your Weavile a completely different set every single game. It does not matter.
Yep.
The only exception is Mega Pokemon, which we will get into. But even then, they're almost completely customizable.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so you make your team. You give it a name, whatever you'd like, and then you have to find a user. So let's say you're challenging me. My username is Gustafio. You find that user. They're offline, but if they were online, you would challenge them, and then you would pick what team you were bringing into the battle. It would show up right there, and then you would start the battle. And I guess, do you want to show people just quickly what it looks like to get into a battle?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I'll sign into myself here.
Just do like a random battle.
So let's do a random battle. So
we're not gonna challenge somebody and queue up with a team. Instead, we're just going to just find a random battle.
Yeah. And
so this is what the interface looks like.
Yes. And so you join, and usually you would be able to pick one of your 6 Pokemon to lead with, and you would see his 6 Pokemon, but this is a different format.
Right.
This is random battles. And so you've got your 4 moves right down here, and you've got your switch option right down here. And it works just like a regular Pokemon match. You pick your move, and you see what happens. I'll just close this lobby. And it's just like a regular, it tells you when there's a critical hit, everything. It's just like a regular Pokemon match with very, very few exceptions that will hopefully never be a problem during the season.
Right.
This is functionally identical to playing on the 3DS. And yeah, so I'm just gonna forfeit.
I think you just lose now.
Yeah, I do. I forfeit.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, that is Pokemon Showdown, and so we will be playing all of our battles in this format.
Yeah. So I know some people were a little bit upset that we're not going over DS. We had a DS, like an in-game.
We had a league, a 3DS
league as well.
Yeah.
But not only did it not work, but it also just was very inconvenient to try and make teams. If you ever wanted to make a new team and change anything about something, you would have to like breed a whole new egg and like hatch it all the way up and EV train it and like get it its egg moves, and it was just a real hassle if you were trying to do that for every match ever, which we were actually playing 3 matches every week.
Yeah.
Back then. So it was just pretty unrealistic.
It was also during the summer too.
Yeah, it was during the summer. So it makes it a lot more realistic and a lot more accessible to do it on online on Pokemon Showdown.
Yeah. Dollar Tooth says, do you guys think Ethan's hat equipment gives him an RNG advantage?
Advantage? Let me tell you about burns. So a burn is a status that quarters, I believe it's quarters the attack, maybe half, I don't even remember.
Half.
One or the other. It does something, yeah, I don't know why I said quarter, I know it halves the attack
quarter,
of...
or paralyzed quarter speed.
Halves the attack of the opponent. And a lot of moves, like Scald or Sacred Fire, have a decent to 50% chance. So, for example, Scald has a 30% chance, and Sacred Fire has a 50% chance to burn.
Yep.
I got a total of 1 burn all season in all 16 of my matches, and it triggered the hell out of me. And if you think I have the RNG in the match, or in the draft, I guarantee you I do not.
Oh my god. Nobody has, like, actually good RNG in the draft. Everyone just has bad RNG.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I don't think anyone has good RNG. Okay, alright, I had 2, like, really bullshit RNG times.
Oh, with the Willow Misses?
Well, yeah, but like, but it was like, it was a 6.25, and then I got a 2.25.
Right.
So it wasn't like that big of a difference, but the 2.25 is bullshit. And then also, against Josh, my last Draco critted.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
yeah, that's right. Then I would burn the things that like I didn't want burned.
Yeah, only in the playoffs though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, 30% of the chance, or 30% chance, 330% of the time, of course. No, it wasn't a 1.25. Nick, you weren't even there. You weren't even in last season. I got a 2.25 against Max after he got a 6.25 against me. Anyways, so yeah. So, oh, did we talk about conferences?
No. So, something we did last season is because we had, I believe it was 24 people. We had 24 players. No, 25.
25.
But we split it up in 12 and 13, and so basically we ran 2 drafts at the same time. So everybody was in the same, like, league, but there were 2 different drafts that happened. And draft is just the process of picking your Pokemon for your team.
Right. So we had a Sun and a Moon conference, and so for example, Bisharp could be taken by myself in Sun conference, and then again by Ethan in Moon conference. But we would never play each other because we were in different conferences.
Right.
The only time the conferences would ever face off against each other is in the grand finals when the winner of Sun conference faced off against the winner of Moon conference to take the entire tournament. And so we have, depending on how many people we get, I think we will have at least 2 conferences, maybe 3. It depends on how many people actually sign up and show up to draft day.
Yeah.
And we'll figure that out when it gets there.
Yeah, so draft day is when we're going to be probably taking a lot of our votes.
Yeah.
And that which we'll be discussing shortly, actually, what we'll be possibly voting on. I think it's starting...
What, draft day?
The draft, like...
We want draft day to be the Saturday the 24th, I believe. Or no, Saturday the 17th.
Okay, because I read a post that I made earlier, and apparently we wanted it to start on the 19th. Like, the 19th be the first day of the draft.
Yeah. So we'll draft on Saturday the 17th?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we're planning on drafting Saturday the 17th.
Yes.
And we are planning on starting the season on Monday the 19th.
Yeah.
So draft Saturday the 17th. Season Monday the 19th.
Yeah, so it gives you about 2 days to figure out your team, play around with it, see if there's anything you like or don't like, maybe make some trades before the season, and yeah.
Yeah. So, also for drafting, we draft, when we're drafting or just in general, we draft by dex number. And what that means is that when you draft a Pokemon, its Pokédex number is taken. And so you cannot draft multiple forms of a Pokemon. So if Rotom Wash is taken, the whole dex number for Rotom is gone. And nobody else can take Rotom Heat, nobody else can take Rotom Fan. And the reason we do this is just so there aren't a lot of Rotoms in the draft all running around. And then you think to yourself, oh, but if someone takes Rotom, they have more Pokemon because they can just change the form. When you draft a Pokemon, you draft their dex number, but at the very end of the draft, we make you specify a form, and you are never allowed to change the form of that Pokemon. Right. So when you draft, you say, I want Rotom. Rotom is taken, nobody else can take Rotom. After you pick your 10th Pokemon, we say, all right, what form of Rotom do you want? And then you look at the rest of your team and you say, well, the rest of my draft didn't really go the way I wanted. I originally wanted Rotom Wash, but I think Rotom Fan fits better with my team, so I'm going to take Rotom Fan.
Yep.
And then Rotom Fan is the Rotom that you must bring every time you bring a Rotom. You cannot bring another Rotom.
Yeah.
And this is very similar to how we do Megas. And so you draft your 10 Pokemon. You never have to say, I draft Mega Venusaur, I draft Mega Blastoise. You just say, I draft Venusaur, I draft Blastoise. You can draft... There's no restrictions to how many potential Mega Pokemon you could have on your team, but at the end of your draft, you specify one Mega Pokemon, and that Pokemon has to always hold its Mega Stone every time you bring it into battle. So if you draft Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur, you choose one of them at the very end of your draft. You say, I want Blastoise to be my dedicated Mega, and so every time you bring Blastoise into a battle, it must be holding Blastoiseite. And you don't have to press the Mega Evolution button. You're never forced to press it, but you cannot hold a different item.
Right. So, for example, Sableye, who works very well both Mega and non-Mega, if you choose for Sableye to be your Mega Evolution, you cannot go back and say, no, that's okay. Like, I'm actually just going to give this Sableye leftovers and I'm going to use it as Prankster this game. You can still use it as Prankster, but it must still hold its Mega Stone. So, so if you think that Prankster Sableye is still just way better than Magic Bound Sableye in this current matchup, unfortunately, it still needs to be holding its Mega Stone.
Yeah.
Also, this is kind of with Megas and with the form discussion. If you look at our screen, you see Charizard X and Charizard Y. This is kind of a niche situation where there's two different forms of one Mega Pokemon. So you would think, oh, well, intuitively, you would think like, okay, well, I'm going to draft Charizard, and since it needs to hold its Mega Stone, it can be either X or Y. But what we're saying is that you can only, if you choose to Mega Evolve, you have to declare which Mega it will evolve into for the entire season. So if you draft Charizard, and at the end you decide that you want to Mega Evolve Charizard, you have to declare, I'm going to have Charizard Y, or I'm going to have Charizard X, and that will stay with you all season, just like the other Rotom and Thundurus and etc. forms.
Yep. Right, and the only other weird one is Kyurem, right? So if you take Kyurem, you specify a form, and so nobody can have Kyurem Black if Kyurem is already taken and specified as regular Kyurem.
Yeah, and Kyurem White is banned.
Kyurem White is obviously banned. Anything else with the forms that we should... Oh, Meowstic male and female do count as different forms.
Yes, so Meowstic, if you were to draft Meowstic, I believe the male is the prankster one. So because there's a very large distinction between the two Meowstics, we're saying that if you draft Meowstic, you have to, at the end, declare either male or female.
Like if Showdown makes you specify, then that's what you draft with.
Yeah.
Right? Like Gorgeist sizes.
Yeah.
You have to choose the size for Gorgeist if you draft it. So pretty much anything that Showdown makes you choose, it counts as a form.
Yeah.
Because if it's relevant to the game in any way.
My Canadian friend wants to join the league. He's Steve Tapper. Your Canadian friend from Canada?
Canada? Is that a real country?
Never even heard of that. We're all from Canada. Yeah, that's cool. Send him the link, and if he's around for draft day, then I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's in.
Yep. Okay, so that's it for Yeah, you talked about the wheel, right? When we're
drafting? The snake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not going to be like, again, if there's 5 people in the draft, it's not going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right. So even if you think that, I got destroyed by RNG and I got the last pick, you still get 2 picks in a row. And the person who picks first and last. So statistically,
so they get first dibs, but they also get last dibs of second picks. So
statistically, you should get the same power level of Pokemon. Right. And so we talked about start, end of week schedule, right? So 2 matches a week. I think that was a good amount of...
Yeah, 2 matches every week, and again, you will know your opponents way ahead of time. So if you like, you can even just plan your teams as soon as you know your schedule, right? And as soon as you know everyone's teams.
Yeah, and so when we play our matches, the week starts Monday at 12:01 a.m.
Yeah.
The first minute of Monday, you can go, and the week goes until the last minute of Sunday.
Yeah, 11:59 p.m.
Sunday
night.
And
so there's a weird limbo minute where you're not allowed to do anything.
I didn't want to say midnight Monday because then people's...
Yeah.
So it starts the first minute of Monday and it ends the last minute of Sunday every week. You have to have your 2 matches in by the end of that week. And then you think to yourself, have my matches in. How do I get my matches in?
Yeah, what does it mean to get your matches in? I don't get it.
So, if we go to replay.pokemonshowdown.com, there's this weird screen, and if I search my username, Mustafio, what are all these matches I got saved here? Let's just click versus not versus Jessica. Versus Richard, President Butts. Here we go. What's this? What is this? This is actually a replay of a match that Richard and I had together, and you can view every single thing about it. You can view the chat that we had during the match. You can pause it. You can reset it. You can see our teams, everything. And so if you upload this, it's got every single upload or replay that you have has its own specific URL, and if you send this in to us or Ethan or myself, we will have access to the entire match, and so we know exactly what happened during that match, and you don't have to do anything else. You just have to play, get the upload, and send it to us. But how do we get the replay, you may ask? If I go back to Showdown, oops, it's Pokemon Showdown, my mistake. Pokemon Showdown, play online. I guess battle, and then I'll just immediately forfeit. Forfeit.
Yeah.
There we go. So I forfeited this match. That was the end of it. It was 1 turn. Very interesting. So you can either download the replay or upload and share a replay. We prefer you to press the upload and share replay button. So you press this button, you get this big blue link right here. You click that. There's the replay to this very exciting match. Perfect. Copy this, go over to Facebook, and you just send it to us in the chat. And that's the only way we... Oh, no, you send it to one of us personally or send it to the chat.
Yeah.
Either way.
We're also going to have a replay thread.
Yes.
This is where you need to, if you're going to submit it, either do it specifically to myself or Julian, or do it to the replay thread. Actually, I'd like to say at least to the replay thread.
Yes, the replay thread is the mandatory one.
Yeah, so you must copy paste this to the replay thread. And if you like, you could also send it to Julian or myself, just so that we have it easier.
Right. So for example, if I do this, if I go to season 4,
it's not League.
Well, so if I go to season 4, oh, these are personal messages. Okay. Where was our replay thread? I don't even know. Get out of here, Facebook. All these. So look,
week 8 replay thread.
So for week 8, everyone posted all of their replays there. If you viewed all 15 comments, people would post all of their stuff there. So all you really have to do is just go over here, do this, enter it. You don't have to say anything else about it. As long as it's here, we will be able to click it and see who it is. So you don't. We would like it if you said myself versus Johnny or whatever it is.
That's not necessary though.
It's not necessary though. As long as the replay is in the thread before the end of the week, it's fantastic.
Yep.
That's perfect. That's all we want.
But now, why do we need these replays? Why can't I just say, oh, I won against Julian?
That's true.
Why can't we just do that?
So the reason we do this is because every match has a specific quality about it that affects your placement, and that is something we call IP, or influence points. Right? That's what they stand for.
I don't even remember.
I think they stand for influence points. So, influence points are accumulated by your Pokemon, and the more KOs it gets and the less faints it has, the more influence points it gets. And it's just a mathematical representation of how influential that Pokemon is to your team and how much weight it carries on your team, how much it does for you, how good that Pokemon is, or how bad that Pokemon is. And so each Pokemon has their own specific amount of influence points, and a trainer has a total amount of influence points, which is the net sum of influence points across all their Pokemon. Actually, gross sum, not net sum.
Yeah, it's gross.
The gross.
So it doesn't take away, because normally it's plus 100 points for getting a KO, minus 100 points for fainting, and plus 50 points for getting an assist, which is just at least 50% of damage, or like it paralyzes it, or it sets up like a stealth rocks that does a certain amount of damage, or whatever. As long as it deals some sort of damage or disrupts something, and that leads to a KO.
Yeah. So, for example, well, I guess we can talk about
Yeah,
this
let's
now.
just pull it up.
Okay, so the way that we keep track of all of these things is through our God-given Google Doc. This thing is amazing, and it does everything we would ever want to do. And so you see here, we have all of the trainers from Season 4. We have all of their numbers of wins, all of their numbers of losses, and all of their gross influence points. And so ranking is ranked first by win-loss ratio, second by head-to-head. And so if two trainers are tied, for example, Eric H. and Sadie were tied, it is first determined by their head-to-head stats, so how well Eric H. did specifically against Sadie, and Eric Hill, I think...
Eric beat Sadie. That's why Eric is currently ahead of Sadie.
So even though Eric has less influence points than Sadie, he had one game up on Sadie. So when Eric Hill and Sadie faced off, Eric Hill won. Right. And so he is ranked above her, even though he has less influence points. But if two trainers are tied and have the same head-to-head, for example, do we have anyone here? Jessica Richard. Jessica Richard had the same head-to-head, potentially, and the same win-loss ratio, and so Jessica is slightly above Richard because she has more influence points.
Yeah.
And so influence points aren't the biggest deal in the world because they're only a tertiary determinant of how high you are on the leaderboard, but they do matter, and they are a fun little stat to see how well you are doing.
Yeah,
sort of
absolutely. So that's the main part of it. Is it's just cool to be able to look at your team and say, hey, look, this is like, I'm getting a lot of points on this guy. And also beside it, we have the Pokemon standings. So these are basically the Pokemon high scores.
Yes.
So it's another cute thing that we try and keep track of because it's really interesting, actually. So so you see that not necessarily only sweepers are getting the most points. For example, Blissey and Donphan, Hippowdon, Ferrothorn, two Venusaurs.
Oh yeah, Blissey, Donphan, Hippowdon.
Like these guys aren't anything like sweeping Pokemon, but they're definitely, a lot of their points come from assists, especially Ferrothorn. So Ferrothorn actually has more feints than deaths, more feints than KOs, but it has 18 assists, which is a lot. So because of that, it's on the high scores. Because it performed well. And
we said plus 100 for KOs, minus 100 for feints, plus 50 for assists, and that's how we get the total influence points. And yeah, so this really doesn't affect anything for specific Pokemon influence points, except we have a little pedestal over here, a little podium for at the end of the week we update this and we give your trainer and a little spread of your Pokemon. We have our last Pokemon of the week. This is a huge inside meme. It's we're not even gonna attempt to explain this. But yeah, you can see you get your little trainer sprite, so it's like you get a little reward if your Pokemon is doing well. And it adds another level of competition, and it's really fun. And there were a lot of Pokemon with 800 IP. Martin says, WTF, I hate Tim Hortons.
So now that these replays are given in and points are being kept, where are they stored? Like, can I go back and watch these replays?
Yes, so you see all of the tabs along the bottom. There's a tab for every single player in the draft. And so if we go over to Damien, rest in peace, we have our own little chart here. And so it's got Pokemon, number of KOs, assists, IP. So this looks very similar to the top Pokemon of the week, or top Pokemon section. And we have his win and loss over here. We have the number of unfinished matches he has, which is updated. And we have over here his schedule. And so during week 2, for example, he was scheduled to play versus Benny and Julian, myself. And so all of these matches, when I click on them, you see a little hyperlink right above. And you can click right on that hyperlink, and it takes you directly to that match. And so this is Max versus Damien, Tom Myball. And you can go and you can watch this match, see exactly who won, and how that match went. And so matches that this player, so we're on Damien's page right now, matches that this player won are bolded, and matches that this player lost are not bolded. Forfeited matches will have a little comment on them, which we don't like to see.
No.
And yeah, so we see that there's this NA. So we had an uneven number of players in Sun Conference. So Damien actually only had 1 match this week, but he had to make it up in week 6 by playing 3 matches. Mm-hmm. And so the way that we try to get every player to face every other player in the conference at least once. And these matches in week 7 and 8 were done a little bit differently. We only had weeks 1 to 6 scheduled, and then weeks 7 and 8 were determined by something we called clinch matches. And do we want to do clinch matches again? We should explain it and we'll decide.
I think we only did clinch matches this time because we only had 12 people per thing.
So
but I feel like we're going to have a lot more this time.
Okay, so we'll see how many people are in the conference. We will probably just have you face everyone in the conference once, if there's too many people, or as many people as possible. We might not have the clinch matches, but they were just determined. So if you just look at weeks 1 to 6, it's an almost even distribution of who you face. So you usually will not get destroyed by RNG and have to face the top player 6 weeks in a row, all your matches. That's very unlikely to happen. And we have cute little stats over here. So we have Damien's gross IP, we have his net IP, his kill death, assist, it should be kill feint, or KO feint assist.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, we have KDA ratio, we have his conference rank and his overall rank. And so besides having the overall standings, we have just the conference standings. And you see Damien was ranked 3rd in his conference. And this is exactly like overall standings, just only for Sun Conference. And this one was only for Moon Conference. And we have a little chart over here. We do a lot of little charts just to help us keep track of how people are doing.
Yeah, and it's nice to visualize it. It's
very nice visuals. And as we see here at the bottom, this is his roster complete with the base stats of all of his Pokemon. And
we should include type too.
Yeah, we should probably include type at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have his average stats in each category. The average conference rank. So we see that Damien is 11th in the conference for average base stat for HP, and his best seems to be tied between defense and special attack. So Damien has the 2nd most defense and 2nd most special attack in his conference, and speed, right? And so this just lets you know what kind of team someone is running. So if we go to Jessica, for example, Jessica has the highest attack, highest defense, highest special defense, and highest speed in her conference.
Yeah.
And so she looks like she's going to have a super well-rounded team. And it's going to be very hard to deal with. It has monster attack, monster speed.
But then if you go to someone like Sadie's team, which was, it's over to the right. It was extremely unbalanced, but it was also very strong.
Right. So she had the most attack in her league and most speed. And total, she was number 1 in her conference. And so you see she's got not the best, 2nd last defense in her league. And so you can see, all right, maybe I bring a lot of physical attackers because that seems to be her defense.
Yeah,
you see the little
and
chart
her physical attack is extremely high. Special attack is not very high.
Yep.
So you would think, okay, I probably want physically defensive Pokemon.
Total stats, yeah, you're right.
So yeah, total stats.
So and we had a page. Don't look here. Wow.
Don't do it.
So ominous. So I wonder what that is.
Don't look there. It doesn't matter.
I'm not looking there. But yeah, so this is the Google Doc. As long as you have the link to this Google Doc, you will never be lost. You can go to this Google Doc at any time, and it has all the information you could ever want. Oh, Ethan and I get little sprites.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this Google Doc is amazing.
Yep, super good. When you do not have a replay, for example, if it was week 8 and Kevin had not played against Julian and Damien, oh my. If he had not played against Julian or Damien, instead of being blue and having a replay link, it would just be black.
Benny.
It would just be like Benny, because they never played their match. So because of that, they'll be black, and that will be your schedule basically for the season.
Yeah.
Also about forfeits, we might as well talk about that now.
Okay.
If there's ever a week where you just do not do your match, and you do not tell anybody that you won't be doing your match, and just it gets to Sunday night, the deadline rolls through, and just your match was never done. If it was if like both people never did anything about the match, it just didn't happen because both people were too lazy to message each other, then you both just get a forfeit. But if one person is rigorously trying to get a hold of someone, and eventually like Sunday night comes around and that person just never responded, then instead of getting a forfeit, you would get a win, a forfeit win, and the person who didn't respond would get a forfeit loss.
Right. And then you think about, or you may say, well, if I just get a forfeit win, what happens to my IP?
Yeah.
And so what will happen is if I, for example, am supposed to face Damien, and Damien never responds to my message, and I end up getting a forfeit win, I may feel like I got the short end of the stick because I'm not going to be able to play my match and get the IP that I think I deserve. And so what will happen is Ethan will take Damien's team, take whatever Pokemon he wants, do whatever he wants with those Pokemon, enter a match with me, and we play just an IP match to where I can only gain IP and I cannot lose IP. So if any of my Pokemon faint, they don't get a K, or they don't get a feint on the page.
So we only track KOs and assists.
Right.
And only for Julian's team.
Right, and only for my team. Damien's team does not get any IP.
Yeah, Damien's team gets neither KOs nor feints nor assists. They get nothing, stays point neutral, but Julian only goes up or stays neutral.
Yes.
Cannot go down.
Yes, and if Ethan beats me with Damien's team, nothing happens, I still get a win.
Yep.
Okay, so that's just so you don't get the short end of the stick when someone forfeits to you, and you may not get as much IP as you would playing the actual match, but the point is to just try and pad that a little bit, because at the end of the day, we just don't want forfeits to happen.
Yep, and the whole point of the draft is to have fun.
Yep.
And for a lot of people, it's just really fun to play some battles.
Yep.
And if you were really looking forward to a battle, it really sucks when your opponent forfeits. So we just try and at least give it to you so that you can still have fun with your match. And if anything, I think forfeit matches are a little bit more fun.
Yeah, they're kind of
fun.
fun.
You can just kind of mess around.
No stress.
Yeah, you can just mess around. There's no stress. It's like, hey, well, I've already won.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. It's just you're fighting for a little bit of points.
Yep. And we follow by a 3-strike rule.
Yes.
So if you forfeit 3 times, or if you forfeit once, we just say, hey, don't do that again. Forfeit 2 times, you get your warning. You say, all right, one more time, you're out of the draft. Forfeit 3 times, or 3 strikes in general, and you are out of the draft.
Right.
And strikes can include anything from forfeiting to extremely bad manners, as in making another player actually feel uncomfortable, because we do dabble a little bit with BM in the draft.
Yeah.
And as long as it's all in good fun, and as long as you are not making the opponent feel uncomfortable, then it does not count as misconduct. But just be careful in what you say, be careful in what you do. Try to avoid things like bringing less than 6 Pokemon on your team.
Yes.
Try to avoid typing mean things in chat, unless you know your opponent very, very well.
Essentially ways to get a strike: forfeiting a match, being a jerk, or I don't know,
not responding to us.
Yeah, not if you're just really hard to communicate with, and it gets to the point where we're starting to get a little bit upset, then we're just gonna give you a strike and say, hey man, we really need to get a hold of you, and you're just not cooperating.
And we really don't like to give strikes. But
no, that's not why we're here.
Right.
We just need to discourage that behavior.
Right, because sometimes we get to the point where this was not what happened to Matthew E. Matthew E. was a great player. He joined to take over a player who ended up forfeiting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches in a row at the beginning of the season. And so we just said we can't have you forfeiting over half of your matches, and we're going to have to replace you. And Matthew E. took over for this player.
Yeah, so I was gonna say something. Damn.
About forfeits?
Oh right, no. It was actually about replays. So I remembered something about replays. Sorry we didn't include this earlier, but it is always the winner's responsibility to upload the replay to the replay thread on the Facebook page.
Yep.
So, for example, if Julian and I are playing and Julian beats me, I can go on my merry way. I don't have to do anything, but it is Julian's responsibility to get the replay and get it in. If it is not in, as far as we know, the match didn't happen, and there's nothing that we can do about that. I mean, if you're a good person, if I was a good person, I could say, okay, well, I'm just going to get this replay for you anyways and put it on the thing, just because I don't want to have that situation come up.
Yep.
Then that would be a great thing. But
technically, if the replay doesn't get in, match never happened. And if the deadline's already passed, you cannot replay a match. Even if you originally played it before the deadline, if it gets to Monday of week 7 and we look and you don't have your week 6 matches in and you technically played it, too bad for you. And so even if you lost the match, you do want to grab the replay just in case. If your opponent doesn't send the replay in and it gets to the end of the week, you don't get IP either, because even if you lose, you could still get that IP to add to your gross score, because even if you lose and go net negative, it doesn't matter for your gross IP, which is what we look at for placings.
Right.
And so there have been a lot of situations where people lose by 150 IP, by 250 IP, and so every match
Martin and I are tied.
Martin and Ethan are tied in IP, and so if they were the same in win-loss, it would every single point of IP would matter. And we almost had a 3-way tie, I think, at some point.
Yeah, it was really close.
Yeah, and so IP is also very important for Pokemon standings if you care about that sort of thing. Yeah. And so it's just always a good idea to save the replay even if you lost, but it is in the end winner's responsibility to upload to the thread, the Facebook thread. Always the Facebook thread first, and it's a good idea to upload it to the Facebook chat as well, just so you can let people know, hey, I just played this match, and here you go. And also, when you start a match, I forgot to say this as well.
Oh yeah, this is just kind of like good, I don't know.
Good manners.
It's pretty good manners.
Yeah, so if my random battle elo is going to go way down. So when you enter a match, you can actually go right up here. If you're playing on the client, on the actual thing, you would actually right-click this, and you would click copy link URL, but we are on Google or on Firefox right now, so we're not on the client. We copy the link of the battle, and then we just bring it on over to the Facebook chat, for example, and we copy paste the link into the Facebook chat and say, hey, Ethan and I are playing our match right now, this is the link, come watch. And people can actually click the link and come watch you guys play and cheer you guys on. And it's awesome, and that's probably the most fun of the entire draft.
Fun.
Is going to watch really other people play and cheering on.
It's just kind of nice and warm-hearted as well. But
so like, are you guys gonna make out, or after we're done we'll make out?
But yeah, so remember that there is a distinction between a play link and a replay link.
Yes.
So a play link, meaning it just has play at the beginning. For example, if you look up here, it just has play.
Yeah.
That means it is the room that you are currently battling in.
Yes.
Replay is what we saw earlier, not the last one, but earlier, that just had turn by turn what had happened in that entire game.
Yes. You have to hit this upload and share replay button for the replay to work. If you just quit the match, if you just exit out, if you're salty that you lost and you Alt F4 and you don't press this button, it does not upload itself.
Yeah.
You have to press this button for Showdown to upload this match. If you don't click this button, we will never find this replay because it does not exist. And rooms expire after 15 minutes after this message comes up. After it says someone won the battle, you have 15 minutes to press this button until the match is expired.
Yep.
And so if you accidentally send just the play link to us and then you lose and you go eat dinner and you come back 16 minutes later and you say, oh shoot, I forgot to press this button, and Ethan and I did not catch your mistake, replay's gone. We don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So you have to press this button. You absolutely have to press this button. If you accidentally press the download replay button, it's going to download this and save it as a text file.
Yeah, it'll save it on your computer.
Right.
Which you can then upload, but it makes it a little bit harder for us.
we do not prefer this button, but if it saves it, if example you're on Firefox, you have this on your computer, and if you have this, we technically can use this, but we prefer to upload and share replay because this makes a hyperlink that we can actually upload more easily to the Google Doc.
Yeah.
And so either one does work, but we definitely do need you to hit this button, and we need the replay to be posted in the Facebook thread.
Right. So Richard's asking if neither party saves a replay, what happens? So we did touch on that a little earlier. That's okay. So basically, it is always the winner's responsibility, again, to save and upload the replay. So if it's not up on the on the thread, the replay thread, then it's just, even though the winner might have actually been the winner, since there's no replay for it, it's just nobody, like, it's as if the match hadn't happened, right? Since we have no proof that the match happened, it's not a thing. So are we gonna say it's just a forfeit for both people?
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll just be a two-way forfeit if it doesn't get in by the end of the week.
Because the winner didn't fulfill the responsibility and the loser lost anyways, and they could have uploaded the match and gotten their IP, but they just chose not to because they didn't have to. Sorry, 1 second, replying to a message. Absolutely. If anyone gets that reference, I love you. Okay. Yes, so just a few more things. Bear with us. I know it's been an
Martin
hour.
wanted us to talk about trades. We'll get to trades.
Oh, in a bit, yeah. We want to get over just like really basic stuff first. So we want to talk about playoffs now.
Oh, right. So at the end of the entire season, the top 8 seeds, again, you see the top 8 here are colored.
The rainbow, the gay ones.
The top 8 seeds, that just means the top 8 players in each conference will move on to a double elimination playoff bracket, where, again, they'll know their team, or they'll know their opponents, they'll know their teams, and they can strategize as they will in a best-of-3 match. If you lose 2 matches ever, you're out.
Yes. So 1 second. We have a new viewer. Lord Roxas, we are not sure if you are already in the Facebook group, but this is for the McMaster Pokémon League, and if you would like to join, there's the link, and you can rewatch all of the rules on YouTube once we upload this.
Yep.
Okay, so top 8 proceed, and we have our challenge bracket right here, and it looks a little messy right now, and that's because we had 2 conferences, and so we had our upper bracket right here, and so everyone starts off in the upper bracket. You play best of 3s, and so that means you play back-to-back matches. You are allowed to switch your team in between matches, but you must play the 3 matches back-to-back. Potential 3 matches back-to-back. And
so the first one to win 2 matches in the set means that you move on, and the person who lost will then move down to loser's bracket.
Well, I think Roxas is Emmett.
Oh, maybe.
Anyway.
In the loser's bracket, if you lose a single match, not a game, but a match, then you are out of the tournament. So, for example, let's see, Julian versus Johnny. Julian beat Johnny 2 times in a row. That means he won the best of 3, and Johnny moved down here to loser's bracket. Matt S beat Matt E. So Matt E moved down to loser's bracket, and Johnny and Matt E played each other. Now Johnny then beat Matt E 2-0 as well, and Matt E is then eliminated from the tournament.
Yeah.
Now, even though Johnny's in the loser's bracket, he now moves on to loser's round 2, which he then wins all the way up until loser's finals, actually. Wow.
Johnny did it again.
Wow, I didn't even notice.
Yes.
So yeah, that's just kind of how double elimination works.
Yeah. And we did the same thing again. This was Sun Conference, and we did the same thing again for Moon Conference, exactly the same.
And Fitz came to losers finals.
I know.
I forgot about that.
I know, same thing. And so this works like when you get to the finals, there's actually a bracket reset available, and that means that I made it to finals
without
of
losing.
Sun Conference without losing a single set. And so that meant that when I faced against Kevin, who came from loser's bracket, Kevin would have to have beat me in a best of 3 to knock me down into loser's bracket to face me again, because technically Kevin was still in loser's bracket because he had lost a set, but I had not.
Right. Basically, it's a race to try and make everybody lose 2 times.
Yes.
And if you've only lost one time, you are still
Right.
in the playoffs. You
So-
are not out until you lose twice.
Right. So I beat Kevin one time, and that was his second set loss, and so he was eliminated.
Yeah.
And once we had the winner of each conference, it was Ethan and myself. We were supposedly going to face off against each other in the final stage for the grand finals.
Did it even? I don't think it even happened. Did it happen?
I have no idea. Who knows? What are those? Who knows? Nobody knows.
It's a mystery, that.
Yeah. And so the winner of that would be the winner of the conference. And so it'll work a little bit differently if we have 3 conferences. This is not final playoff format, but this is general playoff format.
Yeah, that's interesting. 3 conferences? How
If we
does that
have
work?
3 conferences, it will be a little bit
Round
different.
robin for final stage?
We will probably have to put everyone in a cumulative pool and then separate them after.
Yeah, probably.
That's what we would probably have to do.
Yeah.
But somebody has Walmart Wi-Fi. That's not what happened.
What?
We got DDoS. He's talking.
Yeah. We got DDoS.
Okay, well, not us specifically, but
his ISP got completely shut down, and there were complaints all about it the next day.
Yeah.
Because nobody could access the internet until the next morning.
You're a season behind chat-wise. Wait, what? I'm scared to click. Oh, with the foot. Oh, Nick with the football.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, Nick is in this chat. Are we a season behind? Wait, anyways. Sorry. Anyways,
Yeah,
yes.
that is.
Oh, whoops. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We posted in the group.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's about playoffs. We talked about a little bit about the Facebook group, but if we want to just touch on it, this is the link to the Facebook group. You see it up there right now. So
Yeah,
anyone
and
who's
pasted it a couple times into the chat.
But anyone who's watching on YouTube, take a second to pause the video and type that in. That is our Geek Squad Pokemon League.
We'll probably put it in the description.
Yes, we will.
Right down there.
Yes, and
I've always wanted to do that.
But yeah, so this is the hub for our league. We are going to be posting all the replay threads here. We will pin. No, we're going to pin the rules first, and then we will pin the replay thread every single week. So it'll be right at the top for you to go and post your replays. You can post any questions you have that you don't want to get lost in chat, because usually chat is pretty bumping, so things get lost very, very quickly.
Is how I call it.
Right, so that's why we emphasize on things being posted in the threads here, because we always have access to these threads and we don't have to scroll for 4 hours to find anything. So anything you want to ask, you can ask in this group. We will have our replays and trade threads in this group. So now this
True.
is a good. Oh yeah, everyone who's in this group will also be invited to the Facebook chat, and we will have our Facebook chat. But yes, so we will be posting our trade threads in here. What a trade thread is that if you are interested in trading a Pokemon, you say, "Hey, I want to trade my Florges for something of this variety."
Yeah.
Right? And so anyone who's interested in getting that Florges can comment, "Hey, I'll trade you my Milotic for your Florges. Hey, I'll trade you my Charizard for your Florges," right? And if you agree that you want to do something, you personally message that person and you say, or you just reply in the thread and you say, "Yeah, I'll do that trade. Is this confirmed?" And the other person confirms it, and then you send it to either Ethan or myself in a personal message. Don't send it to the general Facebook chat because it will get lost. Personally message either Ethan or myself and say, "Hey, this is Troy. Damien just traded his Charizard for my Nose Pass," which I think Damien would do.
Yeah.
And then we will message Damien and say, "Is this confirmed?" He'll confirm it, or we'll see that it's confirmed. And then you guys have traded Pokemon successfully, and you can use your new Pokemon the next week. So if Troy...
So the next time the match deadline comes, that Monday after is when you can start using that Pokemon.
Yes.
So you can't trade on Tuesday and use your Pokemon on Thursday.
Right.
You can trade on Tuesday and use your Pokemon Monday.
Right. So
also, all trades will need to go through us. Like, you'll be messaging us, and we will basically approve it just to make sure that there's not some imbalance. Like, if somebody is about to quit the draft and they say, "I'll trade all of my draft for your Nose Pass." Oh, okay, yeah, confirmed, cool. Just because you guys said that doesn't mean it'll happen, because that'll create too much of an imbalance, and we just wouldn't okay that.
Right. And so trades are never confirmed unless we tell you they are confirmed. So even if you guys propose a trade at 11:59 Sunday night, and you guys both confirm it, and then it hits midnight, and you say, all right, it's the next week, let's play our matches, and you use those Pokemon, that is illegal. We have to say confirmed before the week starts for it to be confirmed, because we have to change the Google Doc so that your opponent knows what you have on your team.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 would trade 10 for Nosepass. Who wouldn't?
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Although you are allowed to trade multiple Pokemon for one Pokemon.
Right.
Like I said, so you can't trade like 10 for 1. That's just dumb. But you can trade 2 for 1, for example, like 2 like lower tier Pokemon for 1 higher tier Pokemon or something like that. That's still, even though it's like giving somebody now more Pokemon to choose from, it's of less value realistically. Right. So it's not really an imbalance, otherwise you wouldn't be making the trade.
And you cannot 2 for 1 trade, so you are below, do you want to make the threshold 8 Pokemon? You have to have at least 8 Pokemon on your roster, so you can only do a 2 for 1 trade twice.
Yeah.
Right? And I did that. I had 8 Pokemon at the end of my season. And so you can also trade your Megas. If you give someone your Mega Pokemon, that Pokemon does not gain a new ability. It has to be a Mega Pokemon still, but they cannot use it as their Mega, because when you draft your Mega, you draft your own dedicated Mega. So if I have Mega Glalie and Ethan has Mega Venusaur, and I trade my Espeon for his Charizard, is that what or Venusaur? When I get his Venusaur, I am not allowed to Mega Evolve his Venusaur. His Venusaur has to hold the Mega Stone, but it's not allowed to Mega Evolve. So it's a dumb idea to trade your Megas.
Yeah, don't trade your Megas.
Please don't trade your Megas.
Although, you are allowed to trade Pokemon with different forms. So, for example, if I trade my Rotom Wash and to Julian, and Julian says, you know, I don't really want Rotom Wash, though I want Rotom Heat, sucks to be you, you have to keep using Rotom Wash. If you're trading for Rotom Wash, you get Rotom Wash, not Rotom Heat, not Rotom Mow, not anything else. You get Rotom Wash.
And so we're asked, is there a free agent kind of thing? Yes.
Yeah.
There's going to be a mid-season recess where we probably take a week to just, or no, it's not we may or may not take a break in the middle of the season, depending on how long it goes.
Yeah.
But in the middle of the season, there will be a time where every person gets an opportunity to draft one more Pokemon. They have half the season to assess their team, see what their weaknesses are, what they would like to improve on, and then you say, hey, I really need a physical wall on my team. Nobody's picked up Crustle. I'm going to draft Crustle. And so we are going to go in reverse order of positioning. And so if at the end of week 4, it's time to draft, and Max is in last place, Max gets first pick. Max gets to say, all right, I want to draft Blissey because Blissey's open and someone forgot to take her.
Mega Pinsir.
Mega Pinsir, which is what Eric got. But yeah, and Max will get to go first, and we will ascend until the very top. So person in first place gets last pick. It's not exactly a comeback mechanic, but that's, I think, the fairest way to do it, so there's no pubs.
Also, to clarify, Eric did not get Mega Pinsir and another Mega. He picked up Mega Pinsir because he did not initially draft a Mega.
Right. Eric.
That's just for clarification.
Eric drafted Metagross, but he did not pick it as his Mega. He drafted everything up to Golem.
No, I think it was up to Gorgeous.
No, it was up to Golem.
It was up to Golem.
Up to Golem, and then at mid-season recess, he just picked up Pinsir and he said, "All right, I want a Mega," and he was allowed to do that because he never had a Mega in the first place. If he had specified Metagross as his Mega and then traded it away, he would not be allowed to pick up a new Mega at the recess.
Right.
And so when you get a Mega, that is your team Mega. Always.
Yep.
So be careful with what you choose as your Mega.
Yeah, and there will be a trade deadline.
Oh, yes.
The trade deadline will be 1 or 2 weeks before the end of the season, before playoffs start. We'll let you know more information as to when it's approaching.
Yeah.
But there is a trade deadline near the end of the season that you'll just have to watch out for.
And the reason for that is that if someone knows that they're not going to make it into playoffs, they can't do the same sort of thing where they trade away, or they take imbalanced trades just because they say, screw it, I'm not going to be in playoffs anyways, I may as well.
Yeah, I'm going to give all my good things to, like, this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's my buddy.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's pretty much everything besides specific time and place of drafting.
Pretty much it, yeah.
Are we going to specify, or are we going to post that in the group? I think we should probably say tentative. We say it's going to be Saturday.
Saturday, September 17th.
At 6 p.m.?
At 6 p.m.
6 p.m. in Clubspace.
Yes.
At McMaster in Clubspace, which is on the second floor of the Student Center. McMaster Union Student Center, I think is the official name. It's on the second floor. You take the stairwell upwards that's closest to the Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
Or by
either one, it doesn't matter.
And
you'll
you
get
go
there
you go into that room, and if you're having any trouble finding it, just message the group. For people who cannot attend, there are options. You do not have to physically be there, because we know there are people who don't even live in this country that want to draft. And the way that you do this is you can either Skype in, and you can be there over Skype to draft, and we will ask you when it's your turn, or you can send Ethan or myself a hopefully long list of Pokemon you are interested in drafting in order of preference. Yeah. And so we have a lot of people in this league, potentially. A lot of Pokemon are going to go. You should pick Pokemon from OU all the way down to PU. You should have a solid 5 to 7 Pokemon from each tier at least. And you say, all right, I want like these 5 OUs, these 5 UUs, these 5
I'd even just say
RUs.
10 from each tier.
Maybe
if you get lucky, you'll just have your tier.
10 PUs. That's all.
Okay, maybe not 10 PUs, but like 10 OU, 10 UU, maybe 5 to 7 RU, and 5 to 7 NU.
Yeah, because if you're last pick, last to draft, I mean, there's going to be potentially 20 people in front of you all drafting OUs. And then by the time it comes back to you, there may only be one OU left, and it may not be the OU you want.
Yeah.
But it may be the OU you don't know you want. So draft anything that you could potentially want. And this is obviously not the ideal way to draft, but it's a last resort sort of thing. And we had a couple people do this, and it seemed to work out for them. It wasn't the worst thing ever.
Yeah. Abhinav did it. Jessica did it.
Yeah.
A bunch of people just sent us lists, or even, if you could, it would be amazing, a flow chart. So, like, pick this.
Yeah.
If you get this, get this. If that's not available, get this. If that's not available, get this. And if you get this, get this, 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 this. Or this, or this. And just, like, even though it's a lot of work and it's pretty tedious, it's, it really makes things a lot easier, and I think it gives you a lot more control over what your team will be, even though you won't be there.
Yeah, for sure. And, I was going to say something. I was going to say, if you send us a list and everything's gone on like pick 8, for example, or pick 9 or pick 10, we just will not pick anything, and we will let you draft personally whenever you are available. Just your last Pokemon. Like, let's say just your 10th Pokemon, everything on your list is gone. We don't really want to pick for you, and so we'll just say, all right, whenever you're available, you can just take one of the last remaining PU Mons, because if someone steals the PU you really wanted, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
No.
Because if it's pick, I'm almost certain that picks 8, 9, and 10 for everyone will be almost exclusively PU.
Pretty dried up. Yeah,
it'll be very close to just like, if anything, it'll be NUPU to choose from for the last 3 picks. But yeah, so final recap, I guess.
Yeah, final recap. This is Pokemon Showdown.
Yes. We're playing a league.
Yeah, it's
6 to 8 weeks. Draft format. OU ban list. Draft is Saturday the 17th in Clubspace. Draft starts Monday the 19th.
Also they can Skype in.
I said that.
Oh,
I said
okay.
Skype.
We should give them a Skype then.
Oh.
So we'll show you guys our Skype.
Well, we should probably
one of our Skype names. We'll include it like in the description or in the comments.
Do you know your Skype name? Is it?
Yeah, it's.
Can I say it?
Yeah.
Ethan.Wakeling?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's ETHAN period WAKELING. We'll put that in the description below as well. Yeah. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, so if you have any questions, you can personally message us on Facebook, Julian Casano and Ethan Wakeling. Yes, that is the Skype name right there. You add that on Skype, and you will be able to Skype in. So one more time, I'm going to post the Facebook group if anyone is interested, join this Facebook group. I cannot stress that enough. That is where we will be posting all the information of completely final, where and when we are drafting. Skype, not Discord. Get with the times. Yeah, not a lot. We both have Discord, but it's just not a lot of people have it already.
Yeah, Skype's just easy. Everyone's got it. Yeah. No, like, people won't have to download it last second.
Yeah. Dollar2 says, Julian, I'd like to trade my brother for your Ethan.
No.
Not unbalanced, I promise. But yeah. We're going to put everything in the description below. And that's pretty much it. Just join that Facebook group so when it comes to draft day, whoever shows up and whoever sends us something is going to be who's in the league. It's all up for grabs. If we get 100 people that show up that day, we're going to have to deal with it and do 100 people. If we get 3 people that show up, it's going to be 3 people.
Did we want a buy-in this season?
Yes.
Okay.
We will have a $5 buy-in, and whoever opts out will not be available to win the prize.
Right.
Because we are going to... Yeah. We're going to use the buy-in to fund a prize to give to the winner. We might do a top 3 prizes, depending.
Probably do first, second, third place prizes,
depending on how many people buy in.
Yeah, so the more people buy in, the more people, and I mean $5 for 2 months. That's a really good deal.
Yeah. So people who aren't people who are across the country or something will not be able to buy in because we can't.
Yeah.
Give you
So
gifts.
we'll just be taking it. We'll be accepting it only at the draft day on the 17th.
Yes.
And that'll be in person. We're not going to take any e-transfers.
Nope.
We're not going to take any mailed checks or anything.
Nope.
That's a bit too complicated and kind of sketchy, TBH.
Yeah.
So we're just going to take $5 cash from you guys if you're interested. The prize pool will be based on that. So the support that we get from you guys with that. So,
yes.
So
we will not put any of it into our pockets.
Yeah, the prize is based on what you guys give to us.
Yes. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That was pretty long. It was an hour and 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure to join that Facebook group. Stay up to date. We hope to see you all on draft day. I think that's
it. Yeah.
That's it. Thanks for joining us. I've been Julian.
And I have been and always will be Ethan.
You don't know that. You might change your name.
Almost certain.
Yes, this will be uploaded to YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, you should have come out to the live stream. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You missed so much. There's going to be so much stuff after the YouTube video ends. We're going to make out.
Okay, bye. We're going to go make out now.
Bye.